Good day, everybody. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kudrat, as you all know. Thank you so much, wonderful subscribers, for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support and for staying by. And if this is the first time you come across my video, please do well to stay with me to the end of the video and subscribe. So today, I will be talking about a very important topic, which is how to prove your language proficiency, especially English language proficiency, for your scholarship application. These days, we have so many scholarship opportunities that require us to prove our proficiency, our language proficiency, especially English language, studying in different countries across Europe, in the US, in Canada, in other countries. And we have to prove that we can be lectured in English language, we can speak English language, we can write, and we can listen and understand English language. So we we are asked to prove that we can do all these things. So let me go into the first way you can prove your English proficiency easily, because the title of the video is has been titled "The Easiest Ways You Can Prove Your English Proficiency." The easiest way, the first way, would be providing your original WAEC result. WAEC means the West African Examination Council certificate. This marks the end of your secondary school, which is equivalent to high school in Europe. So after secondary school in Nigeria and in some African countries, you have to write this exam, get it graded by the council, and get your original WAEC result. So it is like this, like it is in this video. This original WAEC result, you can use it to prove your English language proficiency. I've had two guests on this platform who talked about two different scholarships. The first guest talked about the Ibn Rashid scholarship to Morocco. And during this session, he mentioned that he talked about two different scholarship opportunities. He talked about an undergraduate scholarship, a fully funded bachelor's scholarship, and also a master's, fully funded master's scholarship. So while speaking about this opportunity, we mentioned that the WAEC result is valid to prove your English language proficiency to study in Morocco. So this is one of the uh, the means by which your WAEC result can be used to prove your communication skill. The second guest talked about the Chebby scholarship, and he mentioned that you can use your WAEC results to prove your English language proficiency for some schools in the UK. So this shows that two different people, two different parts of the world, two different countries, two different opportunities. You understand? They already mentioned that WAEC results is valid to be used as your proficiency proof for your application. So let's dive into the second way by which you can prove your English language proficiency. The second way would be using your proficiency letter from your university or polytechnic where you've studied for up to 4 years. So this can be gotten from your student affairs, and most times it is received from the registrar's office. For every university and polytechnic, they have registrars and rector respectively. So you can write a request letter to your registrar's office, dated with your full name, with your matric number, the year you graduated, requesting for a proficiency letter. for some purpose. And I have so many samples here from different universities, which shows that all university you can get from any university you've already attended or you are attending currently, you can get the proficiency letter from there. So this is from the East. These samples are from different states in Nigeria. This is from the East. I have samples from the Southwest. You'll see them on the screen. I have samples from the North. So this shows that from any university you are currently or where you attended, you can get a proficiency letter from there. I hope you understand this. It just require you to submit a request letter stating that you need this for this purpose, and you can get it. I would also love to add that in some universities, in some schools, it is free. In most schools, it is free. But however, recently in some universities, you have to pay a token to get a proficiency letter. In addition to that, I'd love to add that this proficiency letter comes in two forms. There's one very versatile one that has to whom it may concern. That means you can use it for all application. Maybe attending conference, if you need it for job application, you need it for more than enough scholarship applications. You can use it anywhere. Because proficiency letter, that kind of proficiency letter doesn't have a deadline. They don't expire. That's what I mean. They don't expire. That means you can use it as I collected mine in 2019 and I can still use it because it has the to whom it may concern. And it already stated that I have been taught in English language for all my education. I graduated with this from this department a certain year from this matriculation number with my full name. The second way you can have your proficiency letter from a university are the ones that you can only use for one particular purpose, like the states that you are applying for this opportunity. So it is directed to a particular office, organization. So you can only use those ones. It expires. So if you have to apply for 3 opportunities or 4 opportunities, you need to get 4 proficiency letter from a university. That can be a little bit stressful, but I think it's worth it, especially if it is free. Yeah, it's worth it because you need to tender that to complete the application requirements most times. And if you look well, if you check all these proficiency letters I uploaded, if you check them perfectly, you calm down and use time, create time to read through everything. You realize that all this, even though I made those personal details invisible, you realize that every of these proficiency letter are on the letterhead. That is one common thing. They have this university logo on the letterhead with the logo, and they are all stamped with signature, registrar's signature. They are all stamped. They contain the full name, and they have all your personal information from the university, the department you graduated from, year you graduated. Maybe some universities even include the grade you graduated with. So, but the major purpose of the letter is to show that you've been lectured in English language. You have the communication skill. You can communicate in English language, which you've done, which they can vouch for you. You've been there for some years. So that is enough to show that you can speak, listen, read, and write English language. So some applications, some opportunities request for that. Some programs on Erasmus, for instance, they accept proficiency letter. So that is the second way you can prove your English language proficiency. So it can be to whom, and it can be the one that you can use for one single application. And it should be stamped, dated, signed on a letterhead, and with your personal information, your full name and all. So let us move to the third way you can prove your English language proficiency. The third and fourth are paid, but they are easy for me because even though I have my proficiency letter, I wrote IELTS. So the third one will be the tests, the English language tests, examinations that we have. We have different types. We have the IELTS, the full meaning is International English Language or tests score, something like that. And the second one is TOEFL. So I can discuss IELTS very well because I wrote IELTS. For each application, they have a standard score you need to get after the exam. For some opportunities, you see IELTS 6.5. For some, you see 7.0 because the overall score for IELTS is 9.0. So the 9.0 span across the writing skill is 9.0, the writing 9.0, the reading 9.0, and the listening 9.0. So after getting the cumulative score, it is divided by 4. So from the overall 9.0, you have to get like 6.5 for most application. It is 6.5. And it becomes more interesting because for some schools, they need a particular grade for each skill. So some specifically state that you must have 6.5 for each skill. So for reading, you have to have 6.5 or above 6.5. For writing, for listening, and for reading. So if you have 8.0 for listening, and you have 8.0 for speaking, and you have 6.0 for writing, and 6.5 for the fourth one, that means overall you will have above 6.5, but the school won't accept that. So that's tricky. But for some opportunities like Erasmus, you can have IELTS 6.5 is accepted. So they don't look into the individual grades. So that's how it is for IELTS. I'd love to talk about IELTS maybe in another video because it's a long thing on its own. You have to prepare for it. There are rules guiding IELTS on how to pass once. I wrote mine once 2022. No, 2021. So because it was mandatory for my application, for one of my applications. So, and you know that all these requirements are graded. When you submit your application, the IELTS will be graded, the proficiency letter will be graded. So I think the IELTS test score are graded more than the proficiency letter if both can be submitted. That means if test score is not mandated. So for TOEFL, they grade the readings, speaking, listening, and writing too. But they have another grading system because I see 100 and something sometimes. I don't know how they grade TOEFL. For IELTS, I understand. And for IELTS, the validity is 2 years, which is it is short. It is 2 years, and you have to pay for it. You register earlier than the exam, earlier than the period you need the score. And after some days, you are given the details of the examination center, the date, the time. So after the examination, it takes days to get your computer-based score. But for some people who sit for the paper-based, it takes 16 days and more than 2 weeks to get your score. So you need to put this into consideration with your application deadline. If you need your score very fast, like quickly, and you cannot go for a computer-based, so you should write your paper-based exam earlier, maybe 2 months before or 3 months before the deadline. Yeah, because I remember calculating that my deadline was January, and I wrote my exam in November. So the result came in December, so I was able to use my result in January. So all these should be put into consideration when sitting for your exam or preparing to sit for your exam. And also you need your hard copy. They don't accept something that I can relate with your printed WAEC results. So they require the hard copy. You need to convert the hard copy to PDF format. Like what I can liken that to is your printed WAEC result and your original blue WAEC certificate. So you know that your printed WAEC result cannot be used for all purposes. So you need to calculate the dates. So the last way you can prove your English language proficiency, the fourth way, is through the ICCTIS. For this, it is paid also, like I said earlier. So you need to pay, you need to upload your university certificates, and you get, this one doesn't have an expiry date. So it is versatile. You can use it for job application, for scholarship application, if test score is not mandated, because this is not like a test. So they are just verifying that you've studied in English language. So it doesn't have any test score. So instead of proficiency letter, this one is also versatile, especially if your proficiency letter from your university has to be paid for. So you can pay it for ECCTIS. They have a website. You'll see it in the comment section. So they have a website. You can visit, you pay, upload your university certificates, and then get it sent to you. I use it in the UK, in Canada, and in many other countries. And the fifth way is the most interesting way you can prove your English proficiency, because they consider Nigeria to be an English-speaking country. So most universities now already waive proving English proficiency, because they know we can speak English, we can listen, we can write, we can speak, and we can read English language. So most of them in the US, many schools in the UK, some in Canada have already waived Nigeria and African, Nigeria especially, let me speak as a Nigerian, they already waived the proof. They don't need you to prove that you can speak English. So that is the fifth and most interesting way to show that we understand and can speak English language. So we have come to the end of this particular video. I hope you learned one or two things. Thank you so much for staying by and for supporting the channel. Do well to share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Bye.